Wish I knew how to quit you.
Bond. This seems so weird. James Bond.
There's no place like home.
I'm gonna make him an offer again with you.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Gone Flint. I know we haven't been as regular as we have been this award season, but like the main host Manning has just been really busy. So, but it's one of those ones I thought we'll keep it going and we'll talk about at least the major ones. Like depending on how major the Globes want to be at this point in time, they're still worth talking about, even though their status as a big predictor of where the Oscars may fall may not be as important as the other ones now. Who knows? But got Dan here. Dan, how's it going?
Pretty good, Mike. I'm glad to be back discussing the Golden Globe nominations. I guess NBC is looking for some kind of ratings, so they decided to bring them back, and it didn't make a lot of folks happy.
Yep, but that being said, I will kick off by because I noticed something when I was looking up, re-immersing myself with what the nominations actually were. But it's going to be hosted by some guy called Jared Carmichael. I have no idea who that is. Dan, do you know who Jared Carmichael is?
Yeah, no, he's just a comedian, stand-up comic. He hosted SNL. He bounces around a lot of different types of shows and reality shows and hosting type gig type things. So, I mean, a lot of the big name people aren't jumping on board just yet for the Golden Globes.
Yeah. But with that, I'm going to kick right into this. I've no idea what order my pictures that I downloaded are going to come up in. But the first one that I've got here is Best Supporting Actor for a Motion Picture. So Best Supporting Actor nominations we've got Brendan Gleeson for The Banshees of Inisherin, Barry Keoghan for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brad Pitt for Babylon, Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Eddie Redmayne for The Good Nurse. But Dan, what are your thoughts about the nominations for Best Supporting Actor?
Well, the two main ones are Brendan Gleeson and Ke Huy Quan from Everything Everywhere All at Once and The Banshees of Inisherin. I think the other three are kind of a surprise, and part of that is that there's no Fabelmans. Nobody from the Fabelmans is in there, which everybody predicted Paul Dano and maybe Judd Hirsch. But you can't really take the Globes as serious, and this will be a running trend. But the two main ones are in there, Brendan Gleeson and Ke Huy Quan, and those have been the front runners since award season has started.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like, yeah, as you said, like we can't always take the Globes like seriously when it comes to the things. I mean, there's a good chance like all of these could get in because I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the Fabelmans. It doesn't come out until January over here for me. So I've got a bit of a way to go before I can see it. But
I mean, I've seen all the movies, and I'm not a big fan of Eddie Redmayne in The Good Nurse, but I guess he must have resonated with the HFPC, PA Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like they probably wanted to get some bigger names, some familiar faces into this, just maybe to get people to watch it. Because I mean, that's what the Globes do a lot of the time is they want to try and get as many. Because I mean, like I'd seen the trailers for Babylon. Once again, I don't think that comes out till January for me, but and from the trailers, I don't know. I don't really like Brad Pitt in what I've seen in.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Brad Pitt is Brad Pitt. He's Brad Pitt, Malcolm, but it's not like extra Brad Pitt, like with the serving of Quentin Tarantino on top. Brad Pitt, you know what I mean? He's kind of got this shtick now that he does, and it's like he kind of over the stick. I mean, he's okay in Babylon. He's not like great in Babylon. You know, I think the standout in Babylon is Margot Robbie. And
Yeah.
this other guy that's in there. I forget his name. We'll talk about him when your photos
Yeah.
pop up.
The next one, I'm going to focus on the movie ones first, and if we've got time, we'll talk about TV ones. That's a TV one. We've got supporting actress for motion picture. We've got Angela Bassett from Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Kerry Condon for The Banshees and Sharon, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Dolly DeLeon for Triangle of Sadness, and Carey Mulligan for She Said. So I haven't seen it yet. I know it's about the whole Me Too movement and that, and it's just and I've heard the movie itself is not that spectacular, but Carey Mulligan's good in it. So Carey Mulligan I could see maybe transferring to an Oscar nomination. It's like Wakanda Forever is going to be an interesting one because the first one did get a lot of love at last Oscars, but like Angela Bassett was great in that movie, so I could see maybe that one transferring over to get that back up. But I mean, for Everything Everywhere All at Once, like I get why they nominated Jamie Lee Curtis because once again familiar faces and that, but for me, I would have rather seen like Stephanie Zhu maybe get that nomination over it, but like as I said, like the Globes probably nominated her because familiar face. But Dan, what are your thoughts about supporting actress?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Malcolm. I mean, I don't mind seeing Jamie Lee Curtis in there, but not at the expense of Stephanie Sue, which is fantastic in Everything Everywhere All at Once. And then the other one is, I mean, I think Angela Bassett has been kind of on the fence whether she was in or out. So I don't that one's, and she was the standout in the movie in that role. But I mean, how can you, I mean, a lot of people may not have seen The Whale, but Hong Chow is fantastic in The Whale. I know the girl in Triangle of Sadness, Dolly De Leon, is good. I've seen the movie. She's good. She's not as good, in my opinion, as Hong Chow from The Whale. Hong Chow has some very emotional moments opposite Brendan Gleeson, and I think she kills it in that movie. And she's in The Menu, and she's great in The Menu.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things the Globes, especially with the sporting categories, is they don't do what they did with like the lead actor ones, is separate the musical and comedy and drama. Because I think if they did that, then Hong Chow may have gotten. But like as Chris says in the chat, like, and he thinks that Emma Thompson should be there for Matilda.
Well, I think Emma Thompson, did she get in for Leo Grande for Best Actress in comedy or musical?
I bet we'll get there.
We'll get there. I think that's the role that I think that's the role, Malcolm, that a lot of people really talk about. And I saw that so long ago that I mean, I seen it like 6-7 months ago, but very good. Emma Thompson was very good in Good Luck, Leo Grande.
Yeah. I mean, like from what I've seen of the trailers for Matilda the musical, I think she looks really good as Trunchbull. But next up, we've got lead actress for motion picture drama, and we've got Cate Blanchett for Tar, Olivia Colman for Empire of Light, Viola Davis for The Woman King, Ana de Armas for Blonde, and Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans. Dan, what are your thoughts on lead actress for drama?
Well, I think it's a great category. All 5 are fantastic, but it just goes to tell you that the lead actress category in this year is slammed. You could have named 8 or 9 women that would have been deserving of those 5 spots, and we're talking about the Globes. But the one glaring omission to me is Danielle Deadwyler from Till. I mean, she is probably second. She would be second for me on this list of Best Actress. I mean, obviously, Kate Blanchett is a standout in Tar. I mean, I saw Tar and I was blown away by the first two segments of that movie. The third segment much, but the first two segments, she's unbelievable. But so is Danielle Deadwyler in the entire film of Till. I couldn't. I mean, I literally couldn't take anybody else to put Danielle Deadwyler in. But if I had to take somebody, I'd say Olivia Colman. And I know people, oh, God forbid, Olivia. But the movie as a whole isn't up to the par of some of the other movies. Empire of Light, I liked it. I didn't love it as much. And I didn't like Olivia Colman as much. Definitely not as much as Danielle Deadwyler and Till. So if I had to take somebody out, I'd take Olivia Colman out and put Danielle Deadwyler in there. I'm shocked she did not. But one caveat, Malcolm, is Till is a uniquely American film, and maybe a lot of European people didn't resonate. That film didn't resonate with them, and the story of Emmett Till didn't resonate with foreign writers from other countries, maybe. So I don't know. That's just a thought I kind of developed why she could have been forgotten there.
Well, the other thing is, it depends on if Till was released in other places too, or if they got enough screeners out to those voters that needed. Because I don't remember if it ever got released here yet. So that could easily be the case. But I mean, this is one that I do quite like this list, and I think there's a good chance that like this is the 5 that we get for lead actors. Like whether or not a comedy one makes in, and I think if a comedy one makes it in, it's probably going to be Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once, if anything. But it's one of those ones like
Kate Blanchett for Tar, Malcolm.
Yeah. I mean, like as I said, I think the 5 we got for drama could easily be the 5 we get at the Oscars. But
and throw in Michelle Yeoh. You right. I was confused there for a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, like I've not seen Tar has it once again. A lot of these haven't been released here. I'm not going to repeat myself all the time. But I've heard a lot about Kate Blanchett in this movie, and so I'm not surprised to see her here. And despite the reception that Blonde has, like, while the movie itself is icky at best, Under the Arms is great as Marilyn Monroe. And I know where is it? Because I know that Chris said take Anna out and put it in Danielle for Till. It's like I don't quite agree with that because I think Anna de Armas is great as Marilyn Monroe, and I think that despite how the movie is, I don't think you should take it away from Anna because she was great.
She was great. She was. Same thing with Olivia. I think Olivia was fantastic in Empire of Light. I don't think the movie. I think the movie is a little bit all over the place. You know.
Yeah. And I know Chris also made the mention somewhere about that Michelle Williams being nominated for the lead, where she is supporting in the film. So, but it's one of those ones. I have no idea what the rules are when it comes to how long you can be in a movie to be lead or supporting.
And I will say this, Malcolm. This came out a couple of months ago, so that maybe Chris missed this, but Michelle Williams came out and put herself, literally told the filmmakers she wants to be put in lead if she is nominated for or up for any awards. She wants to be put in lead actress, and so that's why she is being campaigned in lead actress, and Golden Globes put her in lead actress and not supporting. Everybody and their brother has said if she would just say I want to be campaigned and supporting, she'd probably win supporting actress. She'd win an Oscar more than likely, but she wanted to be campaigned in lead, so that's why she's campaigned in lead. She got nominated in lead, so that's the answer to that.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those ones like it's gonna be interesting to see because I mean, I don't like So I think it's that's that one again. But anyway, next one we've got up here is not that one. That's TV. Best actress for motion picture, musical, or comedy. Got Leslie Manville for Mrs. Harris Go to Paris, Margot Robbie for Babylon, Anya Taylor-Joy for The Menu, Emma Thompson for Good Luck to You, Leah Grande. There you go, Dan, you're right, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot about Mrs. Harris Go to Paris. It's on my list of movies I really want to go see.
You're
So
gonna love
to
it.
see that she got a nomination for that surprised me. And I mean, like Margot for Babylon is obvious. Like, I really want to see The Menu because I've heard a lot about it, and Anya Taylor-Joy for The Menu is it doesn't surprise me because I've heard a lot about her. I've heard a lot about Ray Fonts, which we'll get to. Emma Thompson would like Leo Grande. Once again, I've not seen it, but she looks really good in trans, and Michelle Yeoh is really good in as Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like none of this really surprised me. There's not a lot of snubs that I can think of for this category. But Dan, what are your thoughts about musical comedy lead actress?
No, you're right about that, Malcolm. There's no snubs in this category. Those are the five, and I mean, I think you can almost guarantee Michelle Yeoh is going to win this unless by some weird crazy thing Margot Robbie pulls it out. Which, I mean, I like Margot Robbie in Babylon. Don't get me wrong, but I think Michelle Yeoh is due for some awards this award season, and this is one that's kind of like in her wheelhouse of like she's not having to worry about the drama actresses. She's in this by herself with Margot Robbie and a couple other people. I love Leslie Manville getting in here. I think she might have gotten a double nomination. I'm not sure if she got into Best Supporting Actor in a series or not, but she might have got in twice. Leslie Manville did, and she's a great actress. I'm glad to see they're putting some of these people in here, and I love Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. Oh, what a charming little movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like it's with the Globes, like they've got more leeway to get a lot of people in here, but just because, well, one, there's probably a lot of people which really don't want to be nominated for a Golden Globe after everything at this point, and but yeah, what do we have next? Got Best Actor for Motion Picture Musical Comedy. Got Diego Calva for Babylon. We've got Daniel Craig for Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery. Adam Driver for White Noise. Colin Farrell for Banshees of Inisherin, and Ray Fiennes for The Menu. And I mean, I like, unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to see Glass Onion. When they had that 1 week limited theatrical one, it was just a little bit out of my way to actually go see it. But I liked him in the first one. I don't think he got nominated for the first one at the Globes. So it's surprising that he got nominated for the second one. But yeah, I mean, once again, this is a pretty good list.
Well, I'll tell you something, Malcolm. I know you've been wait. I actually like Daniel Craig in this category because they split drama into and then they split it into drama and then comedy or musical. So I like actually Daniel Craig being in here. I think he deserves to be in here. The one I don't think deserves to be in here is Adam Driver. I mean, Adam Driver, I love Adam Driver. There's no doubt about it. He's a great actor. That movie's terrible. White Noise is terrible. He's terrible. The movie's terrible. That should have gone to George Clooney. This is where the Paradise movie with George Clooney and Julia Roberts, this and comedy actress, potentially Julia Roberts and George Clooney could have got in for these Welcome to Paradise or whatever it's called. I forgot the name of it, but
Ticket to Paradise.
Ticket to Paradise, yeah. And it's out on Blu-ray today. Right now, you can go buy it, and it's a fantastic movie. The chemistry between George Clooney and Julia Roberts is fantastic in it. And it's like they've been working together forever. I would get Adam Driver out of there and put George Clooney in if it was me. But, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like when it comes to Julia Roberts, like I think I never got a chance to see Tim Powder, so I don't really know much about it. But I I know she got nominated on the TV side for Gaslit.
Yeah, yeah,
But so I mean, she's definitely going to be there regardless.
yeah. No, you're right.
But I don't know what next category they're going to give me here. Got Best Director for Motion Picture. Got James Cameron for Avatar: The Way of Water. The Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Baz Luhrmann for Elvis. Martin McDonough for Banshees of Inisherin, and Steven Spielberg, The Fabelmans. Um, I mean, this is like a pretty good list to be honest. Like, and I think this could be the five for best director that we get at the Oscars. I don't know, like um, I know there's a lot of talk about women talking, ironically, but so whether or not she gets in there is another thing. But I think once again, um, it's the Globes, with the exception of the Daniels. Like every other name in there is a really big known name. Um, Not that I'm saying the Daniels aren't that well known, but
3
yeah,
movies under their
but
belt.
yeah, but Dan, what are your thoughts about the best director?
I'm hoping this. I'm hoping you're not going to give me a hard time about this, Malcolm. I know because it's the Hollywood Foreign Press, it makes sense that Baz Luhrmann is in here, but I would put any one of the 3 women, in my opinion, that did Women Talking, The Women King, or Till. Any one of them 3 movies, any one of them 3 directors, I would have rather have been in here. And I like Elvis a lot. Don't get me wrong; it's in my top 10 films of the year, my personal top 10 films of the year. But I think you needed to get a woman in here because of the quality of films by women this year. Women Talking, Till, and The Woman King. Like Gina Blythe, Gina Prince Blythewood, or Sarah Polly, or I can't remember the woman's name who did Till. That's where some of these. I wish. I'm going to go back to this, and you're going to give me a hard time, Malcolm. 6 nominees for some of these categories, like actor, director, because I mean, I think you needed a woman in here, and I'm not trying to get on my soapbox about that. I believe one of the women deserve to be in here. If it's not Sarah Polly, one of the other ones, because I think those 3 films are 3 phenomenal films, and I'm not taking
Yeah,
anything away from Elvis because I think it's a phenomenal film. It's an amazing achievement by Baz Luhrmann.
yeah. Also, your camera's randomly disconnected, Dan. I don't know if you can hear me, but yeah, I mean, I do get what you're saying, and yeah, but once again, as we go back to before, I think it comes down to how widely those movies were released in the foreign sectors. And we actually lost Dan completely, but no, and you're muted as well, Dan. But yeah, moving on to yeah, no, I can hear
Went
you
to a
now.
different camera. I had to go to my backup camera. My camera wasn't working.
Yeah, that's all good.
But go ahead.
But
You're in the mail.
Yeah, as I was saying, like once again, when it comes to Tar Woman Talking and Tool, it I think it comes once again. I think it comes down to how widely they got those screeners out to these foreign voters. So I mean, and
Women
it's one of those
Talking is
ones.
a big one, Malcolm.
Oh yeah, and
You're right.
it's
You're right.
and it's the one that a lot of people are talking about. That
Yep.
is probably the big snub for most people, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens come Oscar time because and the one thing that worries me is that the Daniels won't get into the Oscars because I mean, and that one of the females will get in because I think the Daniels deserve to be there. it's well, and I just haven't seen the other ones to kind of truly judge on whether they deserve to be there or not. But next up, I think we got nope, that's serious. Got best non-English language picture. I've got All Quiet on the Western Front. We've got Argentina 1985, Close, Decision to Leave, and Triple R. Dan, what are your thoughts on best non-English language picture?
Well, I've seen 3 of the 5 of these. I have one of the other 5 right here in my pile of screeners that I need to watch. The one Argentina in 1985 to me seems like it doesn't deserve to be in here, but I mean, what do I know? I mean, you saw a movie that I haven't seen yet called Maru, which I'm dying to see, but also Close is getting a lot of buzz, but All Quiet, RRR, and Decision to Leave. You see the poster behind me. Decision to Leave is phenomenal. All Quiet is phenomenal. RRR is phenomenal. And I'm hearing great things about Close. The one that I have not seen, one of the ones I haven't seen is Argentina. I have a screener for that as well. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm just like, is there not something better? You know, I watch so many foreign films like Bardot. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of Bardot, but it's an achievement in directing if you think of the type of movie it is, and it's going to be on Netflix. I recommend you seeing it just for the experience of watching it. Not that I wasn't a fan of it, but just EO is another one that I know it's about a donkey, but it's from the perspective of a donkey, and you get to see the movies sometimes from this donkey's perspective. Corsage is a big one. I think that's not putting Corsage in here. This category on any direction. I haven't seen, but I think that one should be out. I would think there'd be something better than that could be in there. And I'm hearing really good things about Close, but the other 3.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those ones that I really hope come Oscar times, more people get, especially in the American side, they get to see Maru. I know you messaged me wondering about how to get screeners out. I can't really help you there, but I think but looking at this list, I wouldn't be surprised if the Globes looked at the foreign films like Triple R's going to win regardless, like whatever movies that people put up. So I haven't seen Triple R, but from what I've heard, it's this amazing thing. So I'm pretty sure it's probably going to win.
Well, Malcolm, I will tell you this. RRR and All Quiet on the Western Front are on Netflix. They're easily accessible to anybody that wants to see these films. You could put them in dubs. You could put them on dub. I recommend having it natural sound with subtitles, but they're both phenomenal. Is on Move.
Your audio is breaking up again. You're kind of frozen down. But next up, we've got Best Actor for Motion Picture Drama. We've got Austin Butler for Elvis, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Hugh Jackman for The Sun, Paul Nighy for Livin', and Jeremy Pope for The Inspection. Look, this is a good list. I think Austin Butler for Elvis is deserved in this. I think Brendan Fraser is deserved in this. I don't know much about the other ones. I know The Sun is the who did the father? Florian Zeller again. But I mean, in my mind, like a bigger mission here is Tom Cruise. Because I thought he would have got in, but in saying that, if you remember last year with the Globes, Tom Cruise returned his 3 Globes that he previously won. So it's like, so there could be this thing about like like, well, we're not going to nominate Tom Cruise because stuff him. And the other one that, once again, I haven't seen the movie, but it surprised me that he's not here is like I've heard a lot of good things about Will Smith and Emancipation, but once again, I know it didn't affect the Globes, but maybe the Globes was like the drums like we don't want to nominate Will Smith here. But Dan, what are your thoughts about Best Actor for Drama?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Malcolm. Tom Cruise gave back his golden. He basically stuck up the middle finger to the golden. To do with us. We don't want anything to do with you. Even though he is a producer on Top Gun Maverick, he will get a Golden Globe if he wins. If Top Gun Maverick wins Best Picture or Best Drama or whatever it's nominated in. The other one, that makes sense that he's not in here. Think he's better than Will Smith in Emancipation. I mean, Will Smith gives an equally good, if not better, performance in Emancipation than he did in King Richard last year. And I think the movie is a phenomenal movie. I just hope more people and there's a code out there. If you watch Emancipation, you can get Apple TV Plus for gives out Apple TV Plus code for people to see Emancipation for 2 months. You might be able to see the movie for free, and there's a lot of other good stuff on there. As he said in the message, you can see Ted Lasso and whatever else you haven't seen yet. But I think Emancipation, Malcolm, Will Smith should be in here. We know the Oscars aren't going to have any of those qualms the Golden Globes are having. So that's why Hugh Jackman is in there. So that's the answer why you got the 5 you got.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I think because I know Will Smith's like not allowed to attend the Oscars regardless. Whether or not he actually gets nominated is another thing, because I know that just because he's not allowed to attend doesn't stop him from being nominated. I mean, the other one that I know Brian Nussbaum just mentioned this in the chat, but Adam Sandler for Hustle is another one that he thinks should be in here. But I think it's fun in Hustle. It definitely wasn't as good as him in Uncut Gems. I think the 5 we've got are probably really good. But moving on.
Yeah, if you have it, I got look. In the inspection.
Yeah. It's TV. It's TV. We've got Best Picture for Animation, and I had the Renegade Animation team on Late Night Tape 3 when we talked about animation. And we've got Pinocchio, we've got Inuo, we've got Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and Turning Red. This is probably the safe bet from what's going to happen at the Oscars. I know I had hoped for maybe 2 DreamWorks to get in with the bad guys, but that being said, like I'm not unhappy with any of these nominations. But Dan, what are your thoughts? Dan, can you hear me?
Yep. Well, my thing is this, and I haven't seen Puss in Boots on Monday. They had a screening of Puss in Boots the day after American Thanksgiving. The 6th of November, but so my thing is, I think this is a good 5, except I'd throw in my 5. I think Netflix has got a legitimate shot at 2 animated features, and they have 5 contenders for Best Animated Feature. They have Apollo 10.5. They have Sea Going Wild. They have My Father's Dragon. So they have 5 contenders that could possibly get in there for best animated feature. The Globes is fine. It's fine if they want to put a G Kids movie in there in place of something else. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I think you're different than Inio in the Oscars.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those ones like as they said on Late Night as Renegade Animation sort of said like on Late Night Take 3, like they can see either Inuo or My Father's Dragon taking that last spot. Like the other 4, I think, are safe bets to be popping up anyway. And this is the one year I think Pixar are worried because I think Pinocchio. I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard of it, I think it could easily take the crown away from Pixar this year. As much as good as I think Turning Red is, I think it's one of those ones like because it only had a really limited release and it is on Disney Plus regardless, but it's one that could impact a lot of it. But just because Pinocchio is just recently released, Turning Red was at the start of the year, and it's very rare for something at the start of the year to continue momentum. But next up we have Best Screenplay for Motion Picture. We've got Todd Field for Tar, the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Martin McDonough for Banshees of Inisherin, Sarah Polley for Women Talking, and Steven Spielberg and Tony Kushner for The Fabelmans. Dan, what are your thoughts on Best Screenplay?
Right there. I mean, you can't argue with that 5 for screenplay. But I mean, I don't see any problems with that 5 for screenplay at all. And then you have Sarah Polley in here. Right?
Yeah.
We got her in for screenplay, and so that's why we got her out for director. But this is the 5. I think this is what your Oscar 5 could legitimately be, or maybe a Ryan Johnson for Glass Onion could slip in there.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like,
you got 2. Yeah. It's my fault.
No, it's all good.
So definitely, you're going to get Ryan Johnson in there.
Yeah. No, as well as I was just by looking at this, I have no idea which of these 5 adapted, which is original. So I think all 5 of those are probably going to get a nomination at the Oscars, which every category they go into. We've got Best Picture Musical or Comedy. We've got Babylon, Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, and Triangle of Sadness. I'm just going to put it out there, the title like Triangle of Sadness, is it a comedy?
Yes, they think it's a comedy. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've only heard about it. I mean, for all I know, it could be a musical or comedy. It's just the title of that, like, it's hard to, I don't know. But this is, I think this is a good 5. I don't think there's anything I would put in here or take out. But Dan, what are your thoughts on Best Picture for Musical or Comedy?
Well, the thing might, I don't know why they got Banshees of Inisherin in here. That's a drama with some elements of. No, it's not a comedy. You know what I mean? I would not have put. But also, I think Everything Everywhere All at Once. It has some funny moments, but it's not a comedy. It's a drama with a few comedy elements in it. I mean, I guess. I mean, but this is. I think they just want to reward as many. Reward, and this is their way of doing it at the Globes. You're not going to musical or category or comedy. This is how the Globes do it. So
that
it just makes sense. It's that you would have both of them in there because they want to reward all. So they put them. I think the winner of this category could be your front runner for.
yeah, I mean it's one of those ones that because like people keep going that with Banshees and Sharon, they keep sort of equating it to In Bruges in a way, and like it's one of those ones because it is listed, I believe, both In Bruges and Banshees are listed as a black comedy online, and I think it's. And I mean, I'll defend everything being in here because it's one of those things like, well, yes, I do get that it is a drama. I think there's a lot of comedy in this as well. I think it being a comedy isn't that egregious as some other ones to put in here. There's, I mean, it's one of those ones like there's nothing here which, like, I think is really egregious. Personally, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So I think it's safe to say. I mean, Triangle of Sadness might be the outlier here, but the 5 that you got for musical comedy and the 5 you got for drama could be the Oscar 10 for Best Picture. Triangle of Sadness might be bumped out for maybe something like Tool or something like that, or something else. But I think it's like, yeah. But anyway, moving on to Best Score, we've got Carter Burwell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Alexandra Desplat for Pinocchio, Hilda Goodenotte, apologies for the pronunciation when we're talking, Justin Hurwitz for Babylon, and John Williams for The Fabelmans. But Dan, what are your thoughts about Best Score?
To me, there's some glaring omissions, Malcolm, and that is you can't.
The score for Batman isn't in here, and that's to me how can you not have the score from Batman?
I would actually say they're saying Werewolf by Night is a movie. It's considered a movie. I don't know if you considered it a movie or not, but I would say Werewolf by Night's score is. And also, the score for Batman to me is a glare. How you can't put the score for Batman.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like, I think the Globe's definition of like feature film when it comes to movies is anything over 40 minutes. I think that is what their standard definition of movie is. Like feature film, like you have to be over 40 minutes to be a feature film. So I can see the argument for Werewolf by Night being a movie, but it's one of those ones like I'm honestly like I'm not as high on the score for the Batman as other people. I think it's fine. The score's fine, but out of the ones I've seen, I think which is none of them. So I actually don't have any basis on this. But there's not really any particular missions. Like all these are big composers that are known. Not that I'm saying the person who scored the Batman isn't. But yeah. But moving on, we have best song for motion picture. We've got Carolina from Taylor Swift for Where the Crawdads Sing. Ciao Papa for Pinocchio. Hold My Hand, sung by Lady Gaga for Top Gun Maverick. Lift Me Up from Rihanna for Black Panther. And Natu Natu from Triple R. This is this is a good list for best song. I think this could easily be the 5 we get in this category for the Oscars. There's nothing I can think of that's sort of glaringly not there. But Dan, what are your thoughts on best original song?
Well, I mean, I think you're going to get one of the RRR songs in there, Malcolm, either because they're just too good of songs, but you're not going to get all these people and not get a song or a number or something from Lyle Lyle the Crocodile. Shawn Mendes is fantastic in the movie. And look at us now. I mean, Bye 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 or Recipe for I mean, there's like at least 5 songs from Lyle Lyle the Crocodile, Lyle Lyle Crocodile that could be potential nom. You have to have one of the songs from Lyle Lyle Crocodile in this 5. You're not going to take away Lady Gaga. You're not going to take away Rihanna. You're going to get one of the RR. I mean, if anybody, and I hate to say it because I like the song, Taylor Swift made. Taylor Swift could be the one that could be knocked out in the Oscar 5, if anybody. They do like to get 5 people there. I actually like the song also DC's League of Super Pets. I think that's a very good song. So it's a tough category to predict come Oscar time. But these are 5 good ones. There's no doubt, Malcolm. These are 5 good ones.
That's the thing. Like I think we've had this debate before because I think there's and I'm actually on the opposite end of this debate for a change because they're going to want like big name singers there. I mean, so I think Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, and Rihanna are definitely getting in for their songs. And I mean, they're probably like RRR is going to get nominated at the Oscars. They're probably going to get one of their songs in here as well. And it's one of those songs like typically there is an animated song in here. So if Pinocchio is going to be the one this time, because the interesting thing is there's no song from a Pixar movie in here this time. Normally there's at least one. So whether the Disney Pixar songs are just not memorable this year, I don't know. That's definitely interesting.
Ciao Papa's a good song, but it's not like Look at Us Now. I mean, I think it's a phenomenal song.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like I mean, I think it's going to come down to if people remember that Lyle Lyle Crocodile actually came out. And I think that's what it's going to come down to if you get one of Shawn Mendes in here as well. It's just it is unfortunately because even I forgot that it came out. Like I had no idea it was actually a thing until it came out. So, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of the interesting categories to predict. And I mean, we'll see what happens when the shortlist comes out as well. But next up, I think we got Best Pitch for Drama. We've got Avatar: The Way of Water, Elvis, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Top Gun Maverick. This is a good list. Like Avatar getting in here after getting in a few other Best Director, I think makes sense. And look, the first one was nominated for Best Picture back when it first came out. So it kind of makes sense the sequel's going to get nominated as well. And it's one of those things like there's nothing here which is like surprised that it's not here. But yeah, Dan, what are your thoughts about drama picture?
I'm. Did you just tell you what the category is again?
It is best picture drama. We've got Avatar, Elvis,
Oh, okay.
Fableman's Tar, Top Gun.
I'm sorry, Malcolm. Yeah, this is the 5. I mean, this is your 5. You're gonna get this 5, and there's no other. There was nothing else 5 that could have knocked something out. And this, I think, obviously, both of these. Is it going to be Top Gun Maverick? Is it going to be Fabelmans? And the other one, is it going to be Everything Everywhere All at Once? Is it going to be Banshees of Inisherin? You kind of have 2 really good categories. These drama, and I think they did good. They did good. Go ahead.
Yeah. And like as I said before, I think the 5 forgotten drama and the 5 forgotten musical comedy could be the 10 that we get in Oscars because as we know that like the Oscars this year definitely is a hard 10 now, not a sort of rotating scale. So we are going to get 10 nominations at the Oscars for sure. But the one that I think like the only one I don't know if it'll translate in is probably Triangle of Sadness, so I had to pick one of them. And it maybe Tool or Woman Talking get in that 10th spot at the Oscars. But yeah, it is what it is. And it's going to be interesting because like if that is going to be the Oscar 10, it's going to be a really blockbuster lineup because everything every all at once I'd argue is a big blockbuster movie. You've got Glass Onion, you've got Avatar, you've got Top Gun Maverick, so that's 4 blockbuster movies out of 10 spots. So it's going to be interesting. And this is this last one here we've got. Yep, and so that is all the movie categories. We're not going to talk about the TV
When
ones. What was that?
There's
Dan?
there's no cinematography, Malcolm.
I mean, I downloaded all these pictures from there's no the Golden Globes don't have any cinematography or stuff like that.
I thought.
I mean,
no,
if they do, it's
I think
not at the. Yeah.
If this is the 10, I think the one outlier you mentioned is Triangle of Sadness. Might be not. That's the only one I think could get knocked out of there. If it was me, I would put one of like Till, Women Talking, or The Women King in there over.
Yeah, I'm just going through the Guardians list, just make sure that there isn't one that I missed, and there wasn't. So yeah, it's weird. The Golden Globes don't have like any below the line stuff at all. Like, but I think it's partly because they do have to deal with TV as well. So I think it's that they had to take some of the under the line ones away just to do that. But I mean, all in all, it's going to be interesting. Come see what happens at the Globes. I don't know what the next major sort of thing we'll probably be talking about that's going to happen. So I think
the 2 biggest winners in the nominations, and probably is kind of like on the night, are Banshees of Inisherin and Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's just a shame that they're in the same category where only one of them can win best comedy or musical. But there are a lot of actors and actresses and tech people and director people that are in these categories. So be a story, Malcolm, to see which one of these two comes out on top of the Globes.
Yeah,
The Globes are now. It's January 10th, and then the next day, the 11th, I believe, or the 9th. The 9th and the 10th is the SAGs is the next day. So it's going to be interesting how all come advance went into the SAGs.
yeah, and as Josephine DeMarco pointed out earlier in the chat, like Babylon's nominated for a few Globes. Like, could their trajectory could easily be like that of Don't Look Up and Not Me Ellen? They just completely miss everything. But yes, but that would be.
Really love Diego Calva. I love.
Yeah, go on.
Malcolm.
Yep.
I really love Diego Calva in that movie, and I love Margot Robbie in the movie. But the rest of the movie, when people see it, it's all over the place. I mean, the first couple scenes are cool and they're very interesting. In this weird style, the way that it's that they'll see the movie and they'll be like, yeah, maybe the score is good, but the movie's kind of the second half really dives down. The first two sequences are very good and very like Margot Robbie and Diego Calva's arcs in the story. It basically focuses on like 5 people, the movie does, but it's really not, to me, an Oscar Best Picture contender.
Yeah.
From my it isn't. But you never know. We'll see. I mean, Joanna, you just never know. Is that her name? It said that, Joanna?
Josephine. It's Josephine DeMarco.
I can't remember the name. It flashed.
No, that's all right. But yeah, it looks like we'll probably be getting the
Josephine.
Yeah.
That's my fault. Josephine. My bad.
But that'll be it from us today. We'll put we may have a pop up again at some stage with talking about something else. I'm not sure what else Oscar stuff there will be coming up. I think the Oscar shortlist is probably the next thing that's going to be coming up. But Dan, where can people find you online?
Those Oscar shortlists is going to be a very good tell, Malcolm, to what could potentially get in there. Now, if my boy Shawn Mendes isn't in there for best song, I'm going to be really upset because we just have 2 or 3 songs in that shortlist. And I'm telling you, I think Robert Richardson from Emancipation should be in there for cinematography. I mean, so how things unfold from this point on.
Yeah, definitely. Where can people find you online?
Oh, you can or disappointmentmedia.com, where all my reviews are at those 2 places, or you could follow me on Letterboxd, Dan Skip Allen on Letterboxd, and all over the social medias. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
and you can find me hosting Rankin on Tape View. We won't be back until January 8th of next year, and a little bit of a break. And you can I pop up sort of every year. I'm on the Movie Hero Network doing stuff. On host trivia on Take 3. No, pull me off. And yeah, but I'm around. You know where to find me by now. And until next time, see you at the movies.